Who doesn't like a dash of color in their garden? And one of the most common flowering plant is petunia. Hi, this is Ruchi, and let's talk about growing petunia from seeds today. Petunias are mostly grown as annuals except in zone 9 to 11 where they can be grown as tender perennials. They come in many different varieties. Some have small flowers, some have large flowers, curly flowers in many different colors and growing habits, meaning some grow straight up and some have trailing habits. Some of the flowers have curly petals, some of them have different colored spots on their petals, some have different color veins on their petals. So they all come in many different varieties. They work well in ground or container or in hanging baskets. The best way to start petunia plants is from seeds. You can grow them from stem cuttings too, but the success rate is not that great. So the first question is when to plant them. Since petunias bloom from summer to fall, the best time to plant the seeds is in spring. So I have a couple of different types of petunia seeds. So this is petunia hybrid mix, and there is another one which I have already planted. So I'm going to just take out some seeds. These seeds are really tiny. So you just scatter it on your container and just press them. No need to put soil on top of it. I'll just put some more. These are so tiny. And in this container, I have taken general purpose potting soil mix. There's nothing special about it. The soil is moist. So I'm going to just keep it outside and make sure that the soil always stays moist, and they should germinate within a few days. So in this small container, I planted some petunia seeds and some of them grew. And because these seeds are so tiny and the plants or the seedlings start so tiny, you can look at this one, that when you water it, I kind of accidentally uproot them. So that's why you won't see very few of these growing. But in any case, we have a few growing. So I'll wait for them to become taller and then I'll transplant them. And this is in partial sun because the seedlings are so tender, so small, that I don't want to put them in full sun, although these plants like full sun. Once they grow stronger, then I can move them in full sun. Once they are about 2 to 3 inches tall and at least have 4 leaves, you can transplant them outside. They can tolerate little bit of frost, so you have to be careful. If there are no chances of frost outside, then you should transplant them, or if there is going to be light frost, you can cover them up even outside. Since I try to show you all the stages of every plant that I am talking about, it takes me months to produce a video, and in that process sometimes I lose some video clips. So I lost the video clip where I was transplanting these plants, but in any case, I transplanted them outside in mid-spring. The location should get at least 4 hours of sun. Morning sun is best. As I said before, these flowers are so tender, so even when the flowers bloom, if they are exposed to harsh sun, they can get scorched or they will die very quickly. These are my Superbissima petunia seedlings that I grew and then transplanted in these small containers. They grow really big petunia flowers with curly petals. Look at our petunia plants now. I can even see a bird forming here. And here I have another one in which I planted later on, but they are also coming along. So by midsummer they start to produce flowers. Try to avoid watering on the plant. You should always water on the soil because these flowers are so tender and so delicate. If you water them on the plant, they don't look that nice. They'll stick together and they'll not look good. Deadheading of these flowers is not necessary, and in any case they produce so many flowers that it is hard to deadhead them, but if you can, it is always helpful. Once they start to produce flowers, you should start fertilizing the plants every 2 weeks by a phosphorus rich fertilizer. These are the Superbissima petunia flowers. Look at the curly petals and the stroke of colors. Just so beautiful. When you see that the plants are not producing enough flowers, no new buds are coming up, and the growth doesn't look that great, you want to prune it down. So prune it 6 inches from the bottom and new growth will come and you will start to see fresh flowers again. So keep doing it again and again in the growth season. Of course, in winters it will go dormant and that's fine. But in zone 9 where I am, I have been able to grow it as a perennial. So these petunia plants in this container, you can see that I pruned them a while ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, and they have grown fresh leaves again. And same thing here, and I can see flower buds forming on all these branches. So you prune them and they start to grow fresh leaves and fresh branches and fresh flowers. As I said before, they can be grown as delicate perennials in zone 9 to 11. I am in zone 9. So I left these plants in this container over winter and pruned them down to the ground. And when the spring arrived, they started to grow again. And this summer, again, they produce flowers like this was their first time. So I mean, it didn't matter that, these are old plants. So I planted them last year and they produced flowers last year and they produced flowers this year. But this fall I'm going to uproot them and in spring I'm going to start new plants. So that's about it. You plant the seeds, they need sun to germinate. Once they are 2 to 3 inches tall, you transplant them outside. They need a lot of sun for good blooms. Once they start to bloom, you start fertilizing them with phosphorus rich fertilizer every 2 weeks. If they are slowing down, they are not producing that many flowers, you prune them down, they'll grow back again and they'll keep producing these beautiful flowers whole summer long and at least in early fall. In zones 9 to 11, you can prune them down to the soil during winters and they will survive, and in spring they'll grow back again. So I hope this video was useful to you. If you have any questions, leave me a comment and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you next time. Happy gardening. Bye.